so I'm just gonna review this this way, and I'll send it your way. The number one thing right off the bat, this is a quick play, and it's defense only, which is pretty bad for Genji. Genji is typically better on attack, because Genji is kind of a bad character without his blade. I love him, but he kind of is. So he's really good for attack because you can just wait all that time, get your blade, capture the point, keep going. As it stands on defense, you get your blade, right? And then you fight off one fight, but then you could still lose the next one, or you could lose it while you're building up your blade. So generally that's the issue there. I'm just gonna skip ahead past all this. Right, here. This is a good spot. Generally you see Doomfists use it, because that's where it is most useful, but you using it here is fine, especially considering the way you use it. Let's just wait. You hop up here. And that's something I see at the very beginning. Right here. I hear something in the background. I think that's your mouse. Is that your mouse? Because if it's your mouse, it means that you are either running too low settings, or you don't have enough mouse space. Like your mouse pad's not big enough. So, if you can't fix one of those things, well, no, you're gonna have to fix one of these things, because you'll see later what, that winds up doing. So this thing on the Widow, that's fine, you missed a couple shots, but it's not too bad. Good accuracy on the BAP. You're pressuring the Reinhardt here, which is fine, because he's actually letting you. If I remember correctly, you do die here. But this is one of those situations where where it looks like you're kind of struggling with your mouse. Because, like, right here, right? You're looking at the ground, and you're having trouble looking back. That was a bad example right there. But you're looking at the ground, and then you're having trouble, like, looking back up. It didn't matter that time, but there's stuff like that all the time throughout this VOD. Which, while it doesn't, like, it doesn't ruin you at all, but it keeps you from, like, being at your full potential. Your team comes back because you get those 2 picks and the Rhine. And so that was all pretty decent. Here's the good.
Good job, guys.
You look a little bit lost here. Like, you can hear him already, so you should have expected him. Not a big deal, but you know, still noticeable. You're pressuring here when he has a stun, which is generally a pretty bad idea. Luckily, he's bad, and he threw it right at your deflect. So you're not going to, like... It didn't ruin you, but if he was a better McCree, he would probably stun either in the air or at your feet, and he would just flash you or headshot you, and you would be dead. That'd be end of story. That Reaper sneaks up on you a lot there, and that's kinda... It shows how good it is to just be always looking around. Like, yeah, keep your eye on the ball, like you're focusing on the tanks, which is good, but you want to just give cursory glances around for flankers like this, because otherwise, stuff like this Reaper is gonna rip you to pieces. Then they pop 2 ults, you're gonna die, you're already kinda low, it's not that big a deal. We have Blade here. You're walking against this Widow in a straight line. It didn't matter right there because she had backed out, but generally when you reflect, right? Don't walk straight towards them, because as soon as that deflect cooldown is over, and they'll be able to hear it from that far away, even still. The moment that deflect cooldown is out, you're getting headshotted and you're gonna die, and it's gonna suck. You called for Nanoblade here, that's good. Sorry. That's good. Generally, it's, you know, it's QP, so it's not like a big thing, but especially in comp, you need to be asking for that Nanoblade. Genji's best use right now is to Nanoblade and just win fights off of that. Okay, you pressure the Widow here when you're low. Typically, that would be a bad idea, but this is A little bit of quick play. It's a little bit uncoordinated. They're gonna have some trouble getting some heals onto you, and they're gonna have trouble getting heals onto their Widow. So pushing there was okay in this circumstance, but generally, in comp and against higher level teams, that's not really a good idea. And this right here is what I mean with like mouse space. I don't know if it's just like bad mechanics, but okay, so here it is. It's either bad mechanics due to just like bad arms or whatever, right? Bad mechanics due to the sins, or bad mechanics due to the mousepad. If it's the sins or the mousepad, you can fix those. It'll take some getting used to, but you can fix them. If it's the bad mechanics, it's going to be harder to fix, but if you seriously just grind out with this character, just like tons of time in FFAs and 3v3, and those mechanics get better, you'll be a lot better as a Genji. She does wind up dying. You dashed at the air there, which, you know, sucks, but whatever. Going back. Yeah, she nanoed you, which was a bad call. She's 1 HP, and then you decide to blade. Generally you want to either blade, like, right then, like, before she's, like, dead. Because blading right there after the Ana's dead means you've already won that fight. You know what I mean? So, you don't need to, you've already committed nano, you don't want to commit your blade, if the fight's already won, because that's just making it easier for them to cap the next time. So, then this Rein comes in, and luckily, it's not bad because he's just weird, I guess. But he doesn't kill you, you're fine. Pressuring the D.Va is good here. If you can get her out of mech, that's extremely good for you. You go still here, which obviously you're just against the D.Va. Like, she's not gonna kill you. So it's not like bad or anything. You're playing a little close here. It's okay because you're paying good attention to like not getting too close to the Rein, which is good. What do we have now? Yeah, here. You pressure this Ana. It was a good pressure. It was a very good pressure because right about
I did not want that dinner.
you. Oh, you said I did not want that nano. Okay, so yeah, good. You dash in, and there you are, right there. Her head is lined up pretty much perfectly. If you could hit these headshots, she's instantly dead because she's already low HP. You see right there, and you'll instantly get that dash. You can dash back out, and you won't be pressured into the Rein. As it stands, you miss, which is already bad. You stood still for a little bit. Again, it didn't ruin you, but like, it's kind of standing still is kind of worrying. It makes sense if you're like a hit scan where you need to line up shots, but Genji you don't need to line up your shots as much really. You just need to predict your path. So staying still for Genji is pretty much almost always a bad move. You notice the Rein spinning, which is good, it backs you out, but by then there's 4 people that collapse on you and there's nothing you can really do. Everyone's kind of out of position right now, but it happens. They use Blossom, which is good. That means it's not something that can deal with your blade, because she doesn't have nano right now, so you either hold until she has nano, which is an okay idea, or you just blade now and hope you have it again for like the next time she does have nano for a nano blade. So while waiting for nano blade would probably be the best option if you did decide I need to blade right now or we're gonna lose this point. The fact that Death Blossom is gone is really good for you because it's really hard for Genji to kill Death Blossoming Reaper without the nano. Good pressure here. One big thing that's especially noticeable right there, you go up there, you see she's low, right? You kill her, dashes up, good. You instantly want to dash to this D.Va. What that does wind up doing, what you did there, is you went for the shots, which was kind of unnecessary. If you can just dash and then like back out and leave the D.Va there, that's pretty good because the D.Va's not going to contribute to the next fight. So you want to demech the D.Va, run out, and they'll basically be down a member for the next fight. What happens instead is the Reaper comes up there, which is unfortunate. When he goes up there, it's not that big a deal, but you made it a big deal because you kind of like went for the teleporter. It was a split-second decision that wasn't like the worst decision in the world, but like you see that, you gotta walk away from that instantly. Especially considering your dash was off cooldown. You just gotta get away from that Reaper when you're low.
Only right on point.
Yeah, it's only right on point. Good call out. Focusing the run there is good. Another issue with mechanics. I feel you on this. I really do, because I'm a really good Genji, right? I'd probably be able to play Genji competently at like a high masters, maybe even low GM level. But speak of the devil. Anyway, I have really bad shuriken aim as well, which is why you need to focus on chaining your dashes very well and getting up that accuracy just a little bit. It's fine here. Dashing is... Okay, you were kind of saved because that Mercy was low beside you. It looked like you were going for the... I went too far. The Widow here, right? You've got her in the crosshair. It looks very convincingly like you're going for this Widow. Luckily, Mercy hops right beside you, and she gives you the kill. Unfortunately, you did dash, so your dash cooldown is still reset, and then you're kind of lost. You could still probably climb up there and go for the Widow. You just kind of lost track of her, which is not great. He's up there for some reason. So generally that would be a great place to blade, but one of the best things you need to keep in mind when you blade is not like, are these all squishies? You know what I mean? Because like that's very important. But if you don't know where each and every one is, so like basically, when you go up in the air to blade, right? You dash up in the air for two reasons. You do it for nano, and you did it right there. Without Nano, I don't think Nano was up. Anyway, if people still dashed up in the air regardless of Nano, right? The best thing to do with that is to learn where everybody is. Going for Widow there is good, but you don't want to dash to her because she has the hook, and the second that she hooks away, you're kind of stranded. So it would be best there to slash that Mercy, and then once she starts flying, either dash towards her or get another slash in. By then, you can see wherever she was flying to, you can dash to them and pressure them a little bit. If you go for the Widow, you want to typically slash first. She uses the hook, you dash to her, and then slash her. It's very risky to go for the slash dash slash combo when you know that they have an escape tool like Guardian Angel, like Hook, like Wraith, stuff like that. While it'll work some of the time, most of the time it'll mess you up, especially against better players. Okay, maybe she did have Nano, I can't remember. But she has it now. Pressuring the Ren's not a bad idea. Okay, good, you got the Mercy. You're kind of out of luck here. Again, you can kind of hear more of the sound. Okay, as I hear it, it's either a controller, if you're on a controller for some reason, or your mouse. It sounds like it's your mouse though. So if you can fix that, that's good. You saw the message earlier. I'm about to go and ask you what your sins and stuff is, so we can work on that. Actually, I'll do that right now, so I can work it into mentioning it. We'll just wait here, chill out a little bit. Actually, we'll watch it, because I don't know when you're going to respond. Ryan's a little bit out of position, but not really. Okay, you decide to go for the Mercy. That's good. And you also don't dash too early. Again, also good, because she'd be able to escape. Okay, you did wind up dashing too early. You hesitated on your blade there, which it wound up being fine, because the Mercy did still die. But typically, the second you realize that Mercy got away and you know she's going to be low, because you got a lot of shurikens in the dash, you instantly pop that blade, because this fight is still winnable. You lost 2, but you can still win it with a really fat blade, right? So, the second you turn around, you blade, you dash that Mercy, get your dash reset back, and then you see D.Va's asleep. You kill her, you're then shot by the Ana in the back. Right before you dash for Mercy. You blade, shot in the back, right? You see the tick. So you slash that Mercy, you're pressuring the D.Va when you shouldn't be. You see the bullets, you should definitely be going for the Ana right now. Killing their supports is obviously very, very good. You back up to a health pack, but your movement isn't very sporadic. You want to be AD, like AD spamming more, like side to side. As it stands, when you like only barely do it, you're making yourself a pretty easy target. Okay, so now we're going over to the Hanzo. There's a pretty big thing. You hear the sights. You gotta keep that in mind. When she has sights, she's a monster. You peek her once, okay, dangerous. You peek her twice, just bad idea. You don't want to peek, you generally don't want to peek a Widow that has sights at all. And for that you paid the price. Hanzo can kill Widow pretty consistently, but again, sights is dangerous when you're playing a counter sniper. Good focus, you killed the Mercy, you were able to demech the D.Va earlier. That's just missing shots. It's not even in a bad way. Like, see, that was a good shot, it's just normal misses. The Winston is pressuring you guys, which he shouldn't be allowed to do right here. Yeah, he does get killed for it. You are about to lose this because there's only like 30 seconds left. I can't remember what ends it. The bomb. Yeah, bomb goes in. That's after your Tracer's already dead, it kills your Mei. And then you're kind of out of position. Yeah, that was another thing where it looked like you just didn't have enough mouse space to look around, like I said earlier. Because generally, if I'm you, I see that dude dash behind me, I flick all the way to the side, right? And even if I don't hit him, at least I tried, right? And then you wait a little bit too long on that, it's a little bit hesitant.
Genji has no blade.
Genji has no blade, that's a good call out. But considering where we are in the game, it's kind of a moot point. And then you lose it right here. Okay, so... Oh, you've responded. That's important, the DPI, just because... Okay, you'll see. 1800? Okay. Ooh, that's pretty high actually, that's higher than mine. Let's see here. .5 times 1800. Let's just do the maths here. Yeah, I'm on Yahoo, so it kind of sucks. Okay, now I'm sad. $9,900. That's really high. 4 feet. Which means that, unfortunately, my friend, I have to tell you, your mechanics are bad because of bad arm aim. I'll respond to that later, sorry. Then, like, it doesn't really mean, it's not unfixable, obviously, you just need to put in a lot of practice to get better at it. I feel like your brain on flanks is really good, but that's not really the best course of play for Genji right now, because characters like Brig exist, such like quick punishments like that exist. So basically the number one thing you want to be doing as Genji is setting up, okay, like I said earlier, you want to get ult charge, because when he's blading, he's really good. Genji's blade is the best thing about him. It's not like an overwhelmingly powerful ultimate, but it's a good ultimate, and with Nano it can easily kill a team. So your number one thing should be building ult charge. If you see a squishy that's like open and you can kill them, obviously go for it. But if you're not, you don't want to look for those opportunities yourself. You want those to naturally appear, and while you're waiting for those to naturally appear, you're spamming tanks and gaining ult charge. You seem to understand the value of Nanoblade, which is good. Yeah, I feel like if you were to AD more, and if your mechanics were to be a little bit better, you'd be pretty scary. Because I don't think your game sense is that bad. Your awareness is a little weird, but it's not like bad. It's pretty, I'd say it's pretty normal. The biggest example was the Reaper, but that's only one example really. But there was one time, like when you blade here, this entire part is just bad mechanics, right? You miss the Ana 3 times, which sucks. Not saying you suck, but that's bad. But that's not the end of the world. Every time, people whiff all the time, but it continues happening, right? You slash twice. That's too advanced. I'm not gonna get into that right now. But then you dash, and that dash hits the ceiling. Generally, for really fast and really effective blades, you do want to be able to just predict stuff, right? You want to be able to know where you're going to go with your dashes without having to line them up, which is kind of what you did there. However, if you can't do it, that's really, really bad, because you're just going to be dashing, like, just say here. You blade, you dash into the wall. You dash into the ceiling. While that one example obviously doesn't end everything, if that becomes like a recurring thing, that's very bad for your blades. So while it is a good idea to sharpen up those mechanics, you need to make sure those dashes are going to hit. If you're not confident that you'll be able to just flick and understand where the target is right there, you shouldn't just go for it all the time. You want to be able to line up your dashes, because if you mess up a dash, you'll mess up your momentum on your blade. Blade is all like, you got to keep your speed, you got to keep your combos, and kill everything as fast as you can. The more you slow down your blade, the more trouble your team is in. Here, let me pull up the. Let me do this real quick. So that is an issue, but I feel like if you were to get your shuriken accuracy up and your dash accuracy up while you're blading, and also your speed, but your speed will come with your dash accuracy, you'll be really good. I feel like your sense for the game is pretty alright. I'm going to go over your Hanzo VOD later. I'm going to go over it in a separate thing because I'm going to go warm up for the scrim with my friends. But let me show you what I mean, right, when I'm talking about blades. It's probably going to take a second to load in, so it's just the two of us for now while this thing decides to load. Any day now. I do not have an SSD, so it's going to take a long time. Okay. Excuse me? So I'm gonna show you what I mean by the predictive dashes here. Granted, this is training range and they don't have very sporadic movement, but you'll be able to see. Game, hello? Are you okay? Right, this is an issue. I'm sure it'll rectify itself. Soonish. Oh, my thing loaded in, up here. We're almost there, I hear sound now. There we go. So... Sorry for my colorblind filter, it's a little weird. Generally, right, let's say I want to dash into this spot. Obviously I can just do this.
Double kill.
I can just do that, instantly predict a 90-degree turn, and then just execute it right there. However, if you don't think you can do that, obviously you'd be able to do it with this because it's not hard. But if it with a more like difficult one, it's better to, instead of going for the like ghost dash, like really quick thing, you want to go boop.
Double.
You need to make sure you line those up. Here we go. Let me show you with blade. So, your kind of blade is kind of like this, right? Dash.
Double. Triple kill.
You make sure you can hit everything, which that would be the best thing to do for now. However, once you practice more, what you'll want to start doing is more. Let me build up full charge. Okay, I know this is getting stalled out, but I also don't know how to edit very well, and I don't have any program to do it, so bear with me. What you want to do more is like this. That was a bad dash.
Double.
You know? I know where they are every single time. I know where I'm going to go, so I kind of pre-chart the dash in my mind ahead of time. If you can't start doing that, that's gonna suck for you. Because that's how Genji gets most of his value, through his quick blades. Now I'm kind of repeating myself, but I can't, I honestly just can't stress it enough.
Triple kill.
If it becomes like a problem where you're unable to blade correctly in like competitive play or something like that, you seriously just need to go into like maybe a custom game or something, or a deathmatch, and just work on those blades. Because once you do, you'll be in great shape. Messed up. See, I knew where he was. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. In summary, again, just to get it all out there to finish this off. Your brain, good. You need to focus a little bit more on farming ult charge, and you'll be in very good shape. And then, secondly, mechanics. I know I can't coach mechanics. No one can coach mechanics, really. But once you just practice a lot more, you play a lot of deathmatch, because deathmatch is like just constant fighting. You don't have to wait in between fights or anything, so it's the best way to get your aim up. Once you have that planned out, you'll be in really great shape, and I think you've got the potential to be very good. You do. But you're gonna need to put in the work, because this isn't none of the problems you have are easy, just like, bam, slap a band-aid on that, you're good, you know what I mean? Your problems are going to take real work, but they are not going to be solved super easily. Just power through it, you can do it, and I think that's all I have to say. I'll hop onto your other ones later. Like I said, I gotta do some stuff now. I'm gonna start uploading this right now while I'm waiting, and then I'll send it to you as soon as I can. See ya.